So here's something pretty cool from the Alchemy Mod. A potion that lets you glow in the dark. Yes! Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Shino. And we're going to do a mod spotlight. I think this is something I'm going to do on some of these mods. My Modded to the Max series, I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. And I've been getting a lot of good feedback and a lot of good questions too. And I thought, hey, you know what? Really a lot of these mods haven't been spotlighted. So let's do that, okay? As a service to the community, let's do some mod spotlights. So we're going to be looking at the Alchemy Mod. It's been a lot of fun. I had fun playing with it. And I've got a lot of people commenting about it. So let's talk about the Alchemy Mod first. This came out from, this is created by Llama3013, and it came out April of 2021. So we've had it for about a year. It is updated for all versions of 1.16, including version 1.16.4. And what this mod does is it adds potions that'll help enhance the player. You have Archer's Flask, Fighter's Flask, Healing Oil, which is like a regen, Hunter's Delight, Looter's Delight, which is one of my favorites, Miner's Flask, which is also a really nice one to have, the Potent Oil, Purging Brew, and then something to help with Hunters, the Predator Pheromones, and also the Scent Mask. You also have the Sprinter's Flask, Vitality Flask, and then the Recall Flask, which will allow you to go back to a starting, will teleport to a position, and then the Glow Flask, because let's face it, who doesn't want to glow in the dark, right? So a lot of cool things that you can get from this mod, and these come at different strengths that last for different periods of time and different abilities. So if we go in, if you've loaded the mod up, you will see in your survival handbook you do have an alchemy guide to potion making. And it has a lot of really good information on there, and it actually walks you through the steps of here's the first thing you're going to need to do, now you need to do this, now you need to do this. Real easy to understand, well done, doesn't take up a whole lot of space in the handbook, which is perfect. So you can click on the list of potions at the bottom, and you can see a list of all the craftable potions that you can get from this. It has them all listed out. And you're going to see that there's also two different types. You have an edible, which is, you know, just a carrying one that you don't need a flask or anything for, just a bunch of herbs. And then you've got where you can make them a little bit stronger and put them into liquid form to carry with you as well. And these are nice because while these are a one-time hit, you can have multiple uses on each flask. So it gives you something that you can carry around with you. So let's take a look at Looter's Delight. I always talk about this one in my video. Look at that. So when it's used, 60% more forage amount, 60% more gears, 90% more vessel contents, 60% more on wild crops, and that lasts for 600 seconds. That's 10 minutes of doing some searching and looking for stuff. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty big bonus for you. So definitely something nice to have. Now, we're going to be looking at a couple of these, but I'm going to go through the example of making the Fighter's Flask as we go through this one. And if you look at it, it's a 90% increase to melee damage for 10 minutes. So that is a very nice one to think about having with you. So let's get started on this. So if we go back into the alchemy guide, you'll see, hey, the first thing you're gonna need flasks, and there's different types of flasks that you can make. Now you can make one that is fired by using clay, or you can use the ones where you're using quartz. So if you have a lot of quartz laying around, you can just go through these. If you don't have a lot of clay, you might want to think about using these. But you can use any type of the quartz that you have. So if I click on this green one here, you'll see it's made with the olivine. So any of those crystals that you can find, here's one that's made with the amethyst, and really pretty. Here's one made with the smoky quartz. So you can go through a whole bunch if you like having a little bit of vibrance in your world. You know, you don't want to have all the subdued colors. You want to add a little bit. This might be a good thing to do also for just aesthetics building, having something like that. All right, and if we go back after we've got those, then it tells you need to make a mortar and pestle. Now I've made the mortar and pestle. They are over here. And if we hit the H, you can see pretty simple. This is something that you can do pretty early on with just a knife. The other one does take having a chisel, to get to it. So you got to be at least into the copper age before you can make the stone one. But you know, the durability, this is going to last 4 times more than the wooden one. But the wood one's pretty cheap, so I've never even considered going into the stone one, but you do have that option there. Now these do not stack, or these do not place in the world without the addition of a mod. So if you want to get a mod that will allow you to stack those or to place them someplace, those would be great pieces to have in your kitchen. So the first thing we need to make is our basic potion. So if we go down, we take a look at it, we're going to need one of those mushrooms, a horsetail, and our mortar and pestle. So we're going to open this up. We're going to put our mortar and pestle in. We're going to put some of these mushrooms in. We're not going to make all of them. Let's just do one. And we're going to put in our horsetail. And that's how you make the basic potion base. And from the basic potion base is the beginning for everything. Everything you're going to do is going to require that basic potion base. So if we take a look at it, we can see that this is the ingredient for making the potion tea, for making the liquid ones, but it's also the one for making the edible potions. So if we want to make, say, the fighter one that I was just talking about, we would take some of the lupin and some of the cow parsley, and we turn that into a fighter's flask weak base. And then if we combine those two together in our inventory grid, we get the edible potion herb that's going to give us the melee damage. So if you look, this is for 2 minutes, it's going to give us a plus 30% increase to melee damage if we use it. So, and then to use this, you just simply munch on it just like it was a normal. And then you'll see in your effect windows that you'll see in your info log that you're getting an effect from the potion. So when you go to make your basic potion base, you are going to need a barrel, and you're going to need water inside that barrel. Now, the smallest amount that you can make would be 2 liters. If you were to take a look at the potion recipes for making the tea, you can see that you're going to need 1 basic potion base to every 2 liters of water. So the smallest amount that you're going to make is 2. If you're going to make a full barrel, you're going to need 25 of the basic potion bases. 10 seems to be a good number. Making 10 liters at a time seems to be a pretty good number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 in there. And there you go. It's an instant. As soon as you put it in there, you get that instant. So there's no ceiling on it. So once you have your potion tea made, now you're going to want to make the drinkable version of your potion. You're going to have to make that potion base again. Now this time, where when we made the potion tea, it was 1 potion base to 2 liters of water. This is a 1-to-1. And if you have 10 liters of potion tea, then you're going to need 10 of the potions to go into it. So, and we're going to add in 10 of each one of the flowers that we need for the potion. 10 of those. And 10 of those. And that'll give us our 10 Fighter's Flask, the weak base. Okay, this is the weak one, where the one we ate was a weak version of it. What we're making now is going to be the medium version. So we're going to put those 10 in and seal it, and it's going to take 24 hours for that to finish making. So that is how you create the drinkable potions. I already have 10 of those over here, or 20 liters here. And so now to get these out of, that's where you use your flasks for. So we're going to take a look at each one of these. And so if you look, I now have 19.75. So that was 0.25 is what that one got. And we look at this one and we have 0.5. And the large one holds 1 liter. So with these 3, now these are, we can either leave these just like this, maybe store them on shelves, whatever, you know, just to have them around, or we can carry them with us. And so if I'm carrying the 1 liter one, if I need to take the potion, I did, and now I can look at it, and you see I have 0.75. So you're getting 4 uses out of that large one to take with you. So you're getting 0.25 at a time. So that's a single use there, that's a double use, and then you can use that one 4 times. So that is how you make those potions. Now to make the stronger potion, if you wanted to get to the point that you wanted to have the strongest potion, you're gonna have to do some cuttings of these flowers and doing some drying. So let me take these shears, and to do your cuttings, you just put your shears in with whatever flower you want to get cut. I'm gonna put 5 in there. So you see that's gonna get me 5 raw cuttings of the lupine white. So I'm gonna take those. And for these to dry, they have to be in open air storage. So you can see right now it's drying in my inventory. But if I were to put it back into the chest, you'll see that the drying will stop. And these are perishable, so you can't let them sit around too long whenever you're getting ready to use them. So now we don't want to walk around carrying a bunch of cut flowers in our pockets waiting for them to dry. So what they have in the game is a drying rack, an herb rack. And we can take and we can put these, and this will give us the same effect as if it's sitting in our inventory. And we can store these up on top. Here we go. And you can see in the tooltip it's telling you, it'll dry in 1.2 days. So that is, you can let those dry in your inventory. You can go about and not have to worry about having to carry around a bunch of posies in your pockets. Once these are dried into the dried cuttings, then you can use these to cook them into a cooked cutting, and then that's what you use to make your strong base. Okay, so once you've got the other potions made, if you want to make the strong potions, it's going to take a little bit of extracurricular activity outside of the mod. You're going to have to get into distilling because you're going to need aquavita, which is double distilled alcohol. So you have to make an alcohol first, and usually you do that through, through the fruit press and making a wine, or you can use the ale. And I did it just using ale, so that's mixing water and any of the flowers and letting them brew inside there. I think it was 12 days. I think it had to go 12-day night cycles to get the ale. And then once you're done with that, you got to go into the distillery. You need to make the boiler, you need to make the condenser, put the ale in the boiler, put a bucket down here, yada yada. It'll turn that into rye whiskey, and then you put the rye whiskey back into the boiler, and out comes the aquavita. Now I'm not going to go through that process. I'm not going to show it. I may do a video on distilling, I don't know, but there's some good videos out there on distilling. If you haven't seen any yet, I'll link to one at the end of this video that was done by Miss Ashanton on her channel when she was going through it, and it's a great tutorial, so I'll leave it up to her to describe the process. But anyway, so once you have your aquavita, then to make the strong potion, you're going to need, again, the aquavita placed inside there, and then it's going to require, do I have it? Yep. And then you're going to need the strong base for the fighter's flask. And again, this is where you're using your cooked cuttings to make this. You use your cooked cuttings. Okay? And so that's what I've done. I've used the cooked cuttings. Now, I did a little bit of experimenting, I wanted to see. So I actually put some cuttings. I wanted to see, could you cook them in a clay oven? The answer is no, you can't. So you're gonna have to do it in a fire pit. And interesting, it actually, I put in I put an entire stack of the cuttings, and I put in 3 logs just to see how much it would yield. And it yielded 3 cuttings. So it's kind of an expensive recipe as far as the time it takes to cook. So keep that in mind. When you go to do this, you might want to make sure that you've got those resources available. So again, you're gonna put in the strong base in there with the aquavita, and then you seal it, and you'll get 24 hours later. And so there we go. We've got the 10 liters of the strong fighter's flask. So I'll grab a potion bottle, and voila, there we go. So now we've got the strong, and if we take a look at the stats on it, I think we got to do that back in the guide. So Strong Fighter's Flask. When potion is used, plus 90% melee damage and lasts for 600 seconds. So 10 minutes with 90% increase in melee damage. So not bad. It tastes kind of minty too. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this mod spotlight. Again, this has been a spotlight on Alchemy by Alama3013. It is available for 1.16.4 right now. I have been showing this on 1.16.1, and I'll be making the upgrade here soon. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.